11 curious cruise ship secrets that are hiding in plain sight. Cruise ships are supposed to be relaxing, right? You're stretched out by the pool, fruity drink in hand, pretending calories don't count at sea. But while you're out there living your best life, the ship, it's watching, it's scanning, it's recording. And honestly, it probably saw you go back for thirds at the buffet, because cruise ships are full of secrets, weird, curious little things hiding in plain sight, symbols on the walls that actually mean something, crew-only doors that lead to entire hidden cities, and one secret that's quietly using your face as your cruise card. No, I'm not kidding. That one's coming up last, because it's creepy and kinda genius. If you've ever walked past a strange symbol on the hull and thought, ooh, nautical artwork, or wondered why the ship's funnel is the size of a small apartment complex, or stood in the hallway wondering, wait, am I heading to the theater or the engine room? Then buckle up. These are 11 curious cruise ship secrets hiding in plain sight, and we're starting with the one thing you didn't even realize was staring right back at you. Secret 1. Cruise ships are covered in cameras, and you've never noticed. Ever get the feeling you're being watched on a cruise? That's because you are. By more cameras than you'd find at a reality TV reunion. I'm talking everywhere. By the elevators, in the buffet, lurking above the pool. Some fitness centers have 8 cameras, 8, which feels a little aggressive considering the most action in there is someone doing 2 squats and leaving. One story from a Viking cruise proves how intense it really is. A man collapsed getting out of the pool late at night. No one was around, except the bridge crew watching on CCTV. Within seconds, the cruise director sprinted to help him, in heels, because they saw it happen live. So yeah, that midnight ice cream mission you made in your pajamas, someone probably watched it and told their friends in security about it over lunch. Cruise ship cameras are there for safety, sure, but once you see them, you can't unsee them. Secret 2. The hull is covered in secret symbols, and they're not just decorative. Ever notice those strange shapes painted along the side of the ship? You know, the ones that look like someone lost a game of Pictionary on the hull? Turns out they're not random. They're basically cruise ship code. For example, that weird little keyhole or lying down bottle shape? That marks the stabilizers. Those underwater arms that pop out when the sea gets rough to stop you from doing the electric slide at dinner. See a big circle with a line sticking up? That's where the bow thrusters live. Giant sideways fans that help the ship parallel park like a pro. And if you ever spot a circle with an X or cross in it, that's not a target. That's cruise talk for, don't panic, but there's a powerful sideways jet hiding behind here. Oh, and those big wooden discs on the ropes holding the ship to the dock? Rat guards. Yep. Literal anti-rat shields. They've been used for over 100 years to stop stowaway rodents from scurrying up the ropes and turning your cabin into a rodent Airbnb. And fun fact, those little guys helped save Antarctica's bird population. Some early ships brought rats ashore, and the damage was so bad they had to spend millions to clean it up. So next time you're walking the pier thinking, oh, look at all the nautical symbols, just know, the ship is talking to you. You just didn't speak the language, until now. And let's just say, some of those symbols, they mark features that aren't even what they seem. We'll get to that later. Secret 3. There's an entire secret ship hidden behind those crew-only doors. You've seen those doors. The ones that say, crew only, in big bold letters. You probably walked past thinking, huh, must be a tiny storage closet or where they keep the emergency napkins. Nope. Behind those doors, there's a whole other ship. We're talking a full-blown underground city, crew cabins, medical centers, gyms, cafeterias, bars, hair salons. Some ships even have crew-only hot tubs. Yes, while you're fighting for a pool chair at 8 a.m., someone below deck is relaxing in bubbles you'll never see. They've also got something called the I-95 or M1 corridor, a long internal highway that runs the entire length of the ship. It's how crew get around fast, move luggage, supplies, and, let's be honest, probably dodge passengers asking for just one more towel. This hidden world is efficient, private, and massive. And once you realize it's all running just under your feet, you start to wonder what else is hidden on board. Let's just say, there's one thing you've definitely walked past that looks like fancy modern art. It's not. That one's coming up later. Secret 4. Your deck plan is lying to you. Deck plans look helpful until you realize they're basically cruise ship propaganda. Here's what most passengers do. You open the map, look for your cabin, the restaurants, maybe the spa, and completely ignore the big, empty white spaces. Those blank zones? They're not just storage. They're part of that hidden world we just talked about. Crew cabins, engine systems, giant laundry rooms, storage areas, and mysterious rooms labeled Do Not Enter, which, if we're honest, only makes us want to enter more. And did you notice how most deck plans start at deck 4 or 5? That's not because the bottom decks don't exist. It's just that you're not invited. Some ships even skip deck 13 entirely. Why? Because bad luck. Which is funny, considering your odds of catching norovirus are higher than stepping on a haunted number. So next time you're staring at the ship map thinking, looks like there's nothing here. Just know, there probably is something there. They've just hidden it really well. Secret 5. Cruise ships are full of inside jokes, and you've walked past them. Cruise ships love a good inside joke. You just didn't know you were the outside. Some of these are straight-up Easter eggs hidden in plain sight. For example, on Queen Mary 2, there's a carved Homer Simpson tucked into a fancy Art Deco panel near the pub. Not a sticker, not graffiti. A professionally carved, margarita-sipping Homer. Just chillin' in the decor. And that nightclub called G32? Not a cool DJ name. That was literally the ship's construction code before it got the official name Queen Mary 2. Even the elegant lounge names aren't random. Sir Samuel's Coffee Bar? Named after Cunard's founder. Corinthia Lounge? A throwback to the first cruise ship that ever circled the globe. And those giant abstract sculptures you sometimes see up front on the bow? Not art. Spare propeller parts. That's right. You've been admiring backup hardware. So while you're wandering the ship, sipping your cocktail and thinking, this place has such tasteful decor, just remember, part of it might be an in-joke, a tribute, or a Homer Simpson someone snuck in for fun. Secret 6. The funnel isn't what you think it is. Every cruise ship has that big dramatic funnel up top. Looks important. Feels important. Sounds like something that shoots fire and steam and makes the ship go vroom. But here's the truth. Most cruise ship funnels today are about 90% marketing and 10% exhaust pipe. Back in the Titanic days, ship companies added extra funnels just to look faster and more powerful, even if they were totally fake. Because nothing says, trust us with your life, like a decorative chimney. These days, same deal. Funnels are still used to release exhaust and pull in air, but they're way bigger than they need to be. Why? So the ship stands out in port. Every cruise line has its own signature funnel style, like Carnival's giant red wings or Celebrity's chunky blue one with the X. It's basically cruise branding on steroids. And get this, some ships are now using that extra space for things like restaurants or even suites. Disney Wish has a suite inside the funnel, because why not live inside the most misunderstood part of the ship? So yeah, next time you're trying to identify a ship from a distance, just look for the funnel. It's the cruise world's version of a giant name tag, with smoke. Secret 7. You've probably walked across a helipad and didn't even know it. Most people think cruise ship helipads are dramatic platforms only seen in action movies. You know, spotlights, wind machines, someone yelling, "We're losing him," as a chopper swoops in. But in reality, they're just there, quiet, flat, usually painted yellow, and almost always hiding in plain sight. On some ships, the helipad is tucked right on the bow. On others, it's part of the sports deck or upper sun deck. And unless you're looking for it, it just blends in. One passenger literally thought it was part of a giant shuffleboard court. Look for a big yellow dot, a giant H, or just a mysteriously wide open space no one's using. That's where emergency helicopters land when someone needs a medevac. Not often, thankfully, but when it happens, that flat, boring deck becomes a literal lifesaver. So next time you're out walking, laps thinking, why is this part so empty? You might just be doing cardio on a helipad. Secret 8. Cruise pools are small, for a surprisingly dramatic reason. Ever looked at a cruise ship pool and thought, that's it? You expected a giant oasis and instead got a glorified bathtub with 37 people and one soggy beach ball. Well, there's a reason, and it's not because cruise lines are cheap. Okay, it's not only that. The real reason is something called the free surface effect. Sounds fancy, but here's the deal. When the ship rocks, the water in the pool sloshes around like a giant liquid pendulum. And that sloshing? It doesn't just make waves, it actually makes the ship roll more. The more the water moves, the more the ship moves. It's basically the ocean's way of saying, you want to dance. That's why pools are kept small, centered midship, and shallow around the edges, to limit all that dramatic sloshing. And when the sea gets rough, they'll drain the pool entirely, not to ruin your fun, to stop the pool from turning into a giant ship-top washing machine. By the way, fuel tanks below deck? They're divided into little compartments to prevent the same effect. Because if a pool can mess with the ship's balance, imagine what thousands of gallons of diesel could do. So, yeah, cruise pools are small, but it turns out they're just the right size to not tip the entire ship over. Secret 9. The ship's layout is designed to make you spend more. Ever wonder why the main dining room is way in the back, and the theater is way in the front? It's not bad planning, it's strategic spending temptation. To get from dinner to the show, you're basically forced to march through a casino, 3 bars, a jewelry store, an art auction, and someone trying to sell you a massage you definitely don't need. This is called the cruise ship funnel, not the one up top spewing smoke, the human one. A funnel that moves you past every money-making opportunity on the ship. Even the placement of photo galleries, boutiques, and tasting booths isn't random. They're mapped out to catch you when you're full, slightly tipsy, or emotionally vulnerable after karaoke. And it works. You swore you weren't going to buy anything. Now you're walking out with a $47 photo of yourself eating shrimp. Cruise ships are floating cities, sure, but they're also finely tuned spending machines. And if you think that's sneaky, wait until you find out what they've been hiding in your hallway carpet. We'll get to that. Secret 10. Your cabin number is actually a built-in map. Getting lost on a cruise ship is basically a rite of passage. You start walking to the theater, end up in the laundry chute. It happens. But here's the secret. The cabin numbers are trying to help you. On nearly every ship, even numbers are on the port side. Odd numbers are on the starboard side. And if the numbers are going up, you're heading to the back of the ship. If they're going down, you're heading forward. It's like a built-in GPS, without the soothing voice telling you to recalculate. But wait, it gets even weirder. Some cruise lines sneak in carpet clues. On Norwegian, the hallway carpet is covered in tiny fish. And guess what? The fish are always swimming toward the front of the ship. No joke, you've been following a school of fish to breakfast without even realizing it. And on Royal Caribbean? Cabin signs often include a little ship icon that points forward. It's subtle, but once you know it's there, you'll feel like a cruise ship detective. So the next time you're hopelessly lost after a buffet-induced food coma, just check the numbers or follow the fish. They always know the way. Secret 11. Your face is your cruise card. Remember that photo they took of you at embarkation? The one where you were sweaty, disoriented, and holding your carry-on like a toddler clutching a teddy bear? Yeah, that wasn't just for security. That was step 1 in turning your face into your room key. These days, many cruise lines are using facial recognition software to automatically tag you in photos without asking your name, check you in and out of ports. No card, no scan, just a creepy little camera. And in some cases, even track your temperature during health checks. On some ships, you walk past a screen, it sees your face, and just like that, you're clocked in or out. No tapping, no swiping. No idea it even happened. Royal Caribbean even admitted to using facial recognition with CCTV to do contact tracing during outbreaks. So if you sat next to Carl at trivia night and Carl had a suspicious cough, the ship knew, and Carl's cough was probably in 4K. And yes, some cruise lines are testing facial recognition for room access and purchases, which means one day soon, you might just blink at your cabin door and it'll open. Like magic, or like something out of a spy movie. So yeah, next time you wonder how the cruise ship seems to just know things about you, it does. Because on modern cruises, you don't need a key. You are the key.